Hello there guys, class is in session. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Janet, aka G Aesthetics. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you find this video useful. Drop a like and a comment. Now let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about weight loss versus fat loss and how to do a body recomposition. So weight loss and fat loss is often used interchangeably, but it's not necessarily the same thing. So basically, if you wanted to lose overall body weight, that's when you focus on weight loss. So how does one achieve fat loss? By actually doing a body recomposition, and that's what we're going to be learning about today. Body recomp focuses on body composition rather than weight. So basically, you're changing the ratio of your body from fat to muscle, but understand that muscle and fat are two different tissues in your body. You can't convert fat to muscle. You can build muscle and lose fat simultaneously. So there are 4 groups of people that benefit from, that is easier for them to change their body composition. And we're gonna go over all of them. Number 1 is a newbie lifter, novice lifter. That's anybody that's been strength training for less than a year. Second is if you're overweight or obese. The third is detrainees, people that have probably been lifting for a while and then they stopped. People that probably get pregnant and they're retraining again, or those that have not been consistently training for at least a year or more straight. The 4th one is people on performance enhancing drugs. I don't know much about that. Don't ask me. That's not something that I recommend. So you can ask somebody else about that. So that's kind of not my thing, all right? So 4 people that can actually do that a lot more successfully than a person that has been training for years. It's going to take you a longer time. I'm not saying that you cannot get it done. It's just probably not an optimal thing for you to do if you've been training for a long time. Okay, so the 2 major important things to consider here is your training and your daily calorie intake. 2 very important things for you to be doing if you wanted to change your body composition. Let's get into training first. If you're new to lifting and you've never lifted weights in your life, or like I said, you have not been consistently training for at least a year, first thing you want to do is get yourself on a strength training program. And you should be doing the same exact program for at least from 4 to 12 weeks. If you guys do not have a program, I have a few of them in my app. I'm gonna put the link down below. I have 3-day training programs, 4 and 5. They're kind of for everybody, home and gym. That's if you want to try mine. You don't necessarily have to. I'm just putting it out there. You should be training between 3 and 5 days. If you've never stepped foot in the gym before and you're kind of getting used to strength training, I would start with the least amount of training days, which is 3, and work your way up to 5. Don't just like throw yourself into a 5-day program and you've never lifted before. It's going to be very hard for you to stick to that program. Next thing is your training. You should training with intensity. And when I say intensity, I mean close to failure. You should be struggling with your lifts, and also you should be applying progressive overload with your lifts. That means that you're intentionally getting stronger week to week so that you can build muscle. If you're not progressively overloading your muscle, you're not going to be growing it. So for instance, if you start doing squats with 10 pounds, you should not be doing like 10 pounds for weeks. You should be increasing those weights, and also your intensity should be probably like an 8 out of 10. The least, at the very least, okay? Struggle a little bit and you'll be sure to grow that muscle. This is where the magic happens. It's in the nutrition. Okay, so pay attention to this one. So when it comes to body recomposition, you want to eat close to or slightly below your maintenance calories. Your maintenance calories is your total daily energy expenditure. If you have issues finding your maintenance calories, the video before, my macros 101, actually explained how to find your maintenance calories. If not, there is a lot of TDEE calorie calculators that you can find online. I'll link one below so that you can figure that out. It's super easy. After you find your maintenance calories, make sure that you're hitting your macros. It's extremely important, especially if you wanted to optimize your physique, make sure you're hitting your macros. So that means that you're consuming between 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight. Okay, so like I said, go back to the previous video where I discussed macros 101, and you can find all of that there so that you know how many calories you're supposed to be consuming along with your strength training program. Okay, so now we're gonna be talking about the issues that we can run into when it comes to body recomposition. Number one, most people do not have the patience for it. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We need a hell of a lot of patience to be able to change your body composition. So you're in for a long ride. And even if you weren't looking into body composition or changing that, or you wanted to lose weight or whatever the case is, understand that fitness, when it comes to all of those things, they take time. Don't fall into the trap where you're trying to do everything fast. What happens with those kinds of expectations, you tend to get discouraged. So because your cut and your bulk are not necessarily defined, it's going to take you a lot longer for you to actually see results. One of the pros to body recomposition is because you're not necessarily in a cut or a bulk, you can stay in this phase for a really long time. You'll be a lot less hungry. So can you do this in a short span? No, not really. Like I said before, if you have not learned how to be patient, you go learn today. Okay? Another thing that you have to consider is that sometimes the scale is not the best indicator of your body recomposition, right? So one of the things that I recommend, because I have a lot of my clients that go through this phase, is to take your pictures, take your measurements, and there are other ways that you can track your progression. Like, are you getting stronger every week? Are you looking better in your clothes? Do you feel more comfortable in your clothes? Are your clothes fitting different? This is the thing, muscle and fat, they do weigh the same. Muscle is just more dense than fat is, so it takes up less space in your body. You can literally be the same exact weight, and I'm gonna insert a picture right here so that you can see. On the left, I was the same exact weight that I am on the right. It's just different body composition. I can't really tell you how long that took me, because it's been like such a long time ago that I've been strength training for a long time, and it's been I've been progressively gaining muscle over the years. Okay, so fitness is not just like a one-stop shop. You're just there and you're like, okay, in 4 weeks I'm gonna gain this muscle and then I'm gonna stop. This is a lifelong journey, and it's never linear. You're gonna fail sometimes, you're gonna fall back sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay to just pick right back up where you freaking started. It's not a life or death situation. Life happens, things happen to everybody, so don't feel bad about it. This leads to another question. Do you want to get into a body recomposition, or do you want to cut or bulk? That depends on where you are, where you're comfortable with. If you have a lot of weight to lose, then you might want to go into a cut instead of a body recomp. The people that actually can benefit the most from doing a body recomp without like thinking, should I cut or bulk, are people that are like skinny fats. I hate that term, but people know how to relate to it the most. That means you're like in a relatively thinner body, tend to get discouraged when they don't see immediate results. And that's why they tend to stop their recomp phase. But listen, time is going to pass by anyway. And I understand that you want to get to a certain goal, but these things take time. Muscle building takes time. Even fat loss, weight loss, all of those things, they take time. If you've never done a cutting phase and you want to shed some weight, you should do that. If you're extremely lean, start with a bulk. Okay, so that's where you know where you lie. If you don't have a lot of weight to lose, that's when you're doing the body recomp. If you need to lose a lot of weight, get into a cut. And if you're extremely lean, get into a slight bulk. Refer to my previous video of your calories when you're going into a bulk maintenance or a cutting phase. So that concluded our how to get into a body recomp. It's like not really difficult. It just takes a lot more time than you probably anticipate. But you know, patience, grasshopper. You guys are gonna get it. Don't worry about it, okay? Time is going to pass you by anyway. Might as well just, you know, eat, train, sleep, repeat. Okay, so you found this video helpful, please drop a comment, a like, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Okay, bye.